All right, guys, how y'all doing? As y'all see, I just got off work. Haven't been home very long. Got podcast I recorded last night with Kim Robinson uploaded. Since then, there's been some updates, so I figured I'd record another video. Plan on making it kind of short, not like get like not rant for too long. I did some ranting last night. I don't think I need to rant anymore tonight, but um, I'm sure everybody's heard that they did catch the killer, 22-year-old kid. Um, Drove up three to 3.5 hours from Washington County, Washington, Utah, in Washington County to UVU with a 30-06 and had engraved some tranny slash furry bullshit on one of the shells and Tifa crap on other shells. Nothing real shocking. I think we all saw that coming. Um, and when you're that age, you don't have the understanding of fatherhood unless you've become a father like very young, like I did. I was 19 when I became a father, and just senselessly stole the father from those two babies and his young wife. I don't have much to say about, I mean, the killer. Don't want to make him famous or really talk about him. I mean, his name's out there. It's not hard to find out. Everybody probably knows it by now. I don't need to say that. I feel so terrible for those children. That's really bad. I had a friend of mine. He was my best friend. I'd been friends with him for like 19 years. I met him freshman year of high school. And when he was 33, I was 32. He died, had a health issue, died suddenly. No one expected it. It just came out of the blue and left a 2 year old behind. And so it's really hard knowing that those babies got to grow up without their father. Um, Luckily for them, unlike my buddy, luckily for them, there's a lot of video out there, and they can really get an idea of who their dad was, what he believed in, what he stood for. That's part of the reason I do this podcast, is to make sure that when I'm gone, my kids have something to reference, to remember me by, to feel like maybe I'm there, just for a minute, just for an hour, 2 hours, whatever, and and see who I am. But yeah, really feel bad for friends and family of Charlie Kirk. He Last couple of days, I found out a lot about how much he's touched the lives of the people that he's been involved with, and that even people that he disagreed with, I have a lot of respect for him. I do hate that a lot of these people feel it necessary to qualify. I didn't agree with Charlie Kirk, but it's like, that's unnecessary. There's a human facet here. There's a human perspective here. Like, I don't have to sit here and qualify where I agreed with him, where I didn't agree with him, if I agreed with him. Yeah, like, who cares? He's a human being. He didn't deserve to get shot. He was completely against violence of any kind, especially politically. We all know this. We've all heard it. We've all seen the clips. And they take a lot of these clips out of context and they try to make him sound like some insensitive asshole. And that's not who he was. And you can go watch, what a 15, 20-minute video of him having conversations with these kids on school campuses, on these college campuses, and find out exactly what kind of person he was, you know? And so it's really unfair to his family that he's being demonized the way he's being demonized by the mainstream media and these radical freaking far left, like, I don't even know what to call them. They're just punk kids out there like celebrating the death of a father. It's despicable. It's disgusting. You don't do that. If my kids ever did that, I would be embarrassed, completely embarrassed. And that's just, you don't celebrate the death of of a father that left behind two small children and a young wife, and no telling how, you know, how she's going to make ends meet, if she's going to make ends meet, you know. From what I understand, Charlie Kirk didn't keep a lot of money. He put like most of the money back into Turning Point USA in order to keep growing it because he thought that his calling was bigger than getting wealthy. And, that's respectful. And, I don't know what that means as far as like, did he set his family up at some point? Did he put aside 5 million or 10 million or whatever? I don't know. I don't know if he did that, but hopefully he did. Hopefully those kids will be fine. Hopefully his wife will be fine. I'm sure they will. If you saw the videos, JD Vance, instead of going to 9/11 memorial, he flew out to Utah. Uh, JD Vance and his wife Usha flew out to Utah, met up with Erica, who's Charlie's wife, Erica, and put the casket on Air Force Two and flew it back to their home in Phoenix. And he was a pallbearer, which was really interesting to see the Vice President of the United States as a pallbearer serving. It kind of shows you what kind of heart that man has. So, you know, there's a lot going on. Trump's talking about going after NGOs like Open Society Foundation and stuff like that. I'm all for it. Like I've gone through a lot of these uh, whole rabbit holes and researched where this money goes, how it's funneled out of USAID into these NGOs, and then it's spread around even into organizations like Black Lives Matter. And so a lot of what funded Black Lives Matter, a lot of that money they were buying homes with, and fraudulently like taking in is was not only donations from average people, but it was donations from these NGOs, which came from tax dollars. So I'm all about it. Investigate the shit out of them. You know, cut down the corruption, cut it out, get it rid of it, get it out. Well, one thing I want to talk about real quick before I go is we need to get rid of the surveillance state. It's no good. It's as freaking it's as adequate as the TSA. We saw it plain sight. Everybody's been following the story closely. The surveillance state is useless. It did not work. It did not operate the way it was supposed to operate. They had video footage of this guy. They were able to trace his movements. They were able to place him at the crime scene. They were able to like determine that he had got what time he had gotten there. They had pictures of him. They freaking had everything. And it was his father that he had confessed to or bragged to or whatever that ended up turning him over to like call the reverend or priest or preacher, whatever it was there in their hometown, who happened to be had have connections with federal law enforcement and got in touch with federal law enforcement, and that's how they found the guy. It wasn't the surveillance. It didn't work. It doesn't work. We need to get rid of it. It's just a violation of our civil rights. It has nothing to do with safety. It isn't keeping anybody safe. It didn't help in this situation. And we need to get rid of it. The surveillance state is a fraud. It's there in order to keep you afraid and keep you in check. It's not there to solve crimes or keep you safe. And we need to get rid of the surveillance state, just like we need to get rid of TSA, because it does not work. It's an abuse of our civil liberties. It's abuse of power. And the federal government needs to be taken out of the business of surveilling the citizens of the United States. This is not communist China. This is not North Korea. This is not Russia. Get rid of it. We need to get rid of it. It's useless. It did not do the job it was supposed to do, which just exposes it for the fraud that it is. It's not there to keep you safe. It's there to keep you in line. But anyway, I guess that's about all I got. I just wanted to give an update after last night. We didn't have the information last night when Kim and I recorded. But yeah, hopefully I'll get somebody on next week probably to talk more about the surveillance state and how absolutely fucking impotent it is. And then we'll move on from there. But I appreciate you guys. Um, y'all stay safe and we'll talk next week.